but they'll win you the league. This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Youth Revolt, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. I am drinking and I am thinking about fantasy football. The both of us are, I guess. And we're talking about, hey, beer makes me sleepy, Jason. Beer makes me a sleeper. And today we're talking about sleepers, Jason. I've got 5. You've got 4. I've got a whole bunch, man. And I think 4 of my 5 are undrafted. So I'm going a little deep. Okay? So technically, sleepers online are, round 11 and later? Well, we're going like round 15 on a lot of mine. All right, dude? So that's just the way it is. I don't know how yours is, Jason, but hey, before we get into all of that, man, drinking 805 today. I emailed them about a sponsorship. Let's go, man. Please sponsor us. We need the help. We need that shit. But hey, we also need your help, man. You don't have to own a company to help us. You right there watching us can help us. Jason, please tell the public how they can help this show because we need it more than ever, man.
If you made it this far and enjoy 2 friends drinking, talking about fantasy football, like we're right in your living room, then you'd come to the right place. Please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. Give us a comment. Let us know. Did we miss a sleeper? Do you like Tyler's sleepers? Do you hate my sleepers? Let us know in the comments below. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we have a Patreon.
Hey, Patreon, man. If you want more
support,
content.
welcome.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you want more content from this show, the only way that we're going to be able to produce more content, we got full-time jobs here, people. So if you want to donate to this show, $5 a month, if enough of that adds up, dude, we will be able to do this full-time in like 10 years maybe. But every little bit helps, man. So please help us. I'm still paying off this laptop, for God's sakes. All right, man. I've got the brews, and we've got the news. Let's get into the news and brews, Jason. Did you watch the game last night?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, well, anyways, the Bears won that game, the Hall of Fame game, 21-17. Canceled, Jason, due to lack of hustle.
Asterisk.
Deal with it. That is if you ever know that movie called Heavyweights, check it out. No, it was canceled due to the weather, Jason. And the one thing I wanted to pay attention during that game was Khalil Herbert and Roschon Johnson.
From what I saw, Herbert did well. It looked like he did pretty well. I don't remember if I saw Johnson. And then that wide receiver, Colin for the Bears, right? He looked pretty good.
That's fine, dude. But they already have 3. They already have like 3 number 1 wide receivers, so that's the problem there.
Cam Akers scored a touchdown, but I'm not falling for that trap again. Ain't going to work.
Cam Akers preseason now, whatever. But yeah, my takeaway from there, Jason, was Khalil Herbert. Man, my sleeper. He was actually going to make this list. I forgot about him until I was looking at the things last night. 9th in forced missed tackles per attempt. That is the stickiest stat for running back success. There is a world, dude, where he is a running back 1 this season, and he just blows everybody's pants off. All right, Jason? So that he could be a huge win if you want to draft him in the last round.
Yeah, so do we know, did Roschon Johnson get any touches last night?
Yeah, no, he did well. I think he got 9 carries to Khalil Herbert's 8. But Khalil Herbert had a 19-yard carry.
Yeah.
And, averaged like 7.8. But, dude, every single rushing stat, Khalil Herbert is like top 10, top 5 over the last, since he's been in the league, dude. Khalil Herbert is an amazing running back. And DeAndre Swift, man, I really don't care. He was over there with the Eagles with the best offensive line, didn't do shit. So there's some opportunity to be in this back. There's some opportunity to be found in this backfield. I am putting my money on Khalil Herbert, Jason. And then somebody on Reddit wrote that the winner of the Hall of Fame game has failed to win a playoff game in the same season. 0-8 in its 22-year history, Jason. So according to this, the Texans are fucked. Go bet against them.
What a crazy little stat. How do people find this stuff?
It had like 700 upvotes, dude. So I thought I'd include it into this. All right, man. Moving forward, Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
I know. Is that the people getting the stats, Jason?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Josh Jacobs, we're pushing him a lot, man. You can get him in like the third round, I think. Yeah. I have to make the decision if I want Josh Jacobs or DJ Moore. I always go DJ Moore, but Josh Jacobs in the third round, man. Amazing. He is dealing with a groin injury. And then I was going deep into those comments, Jason, and they said that they are featuring so many screens because apparently they really want to focus on the passing game for the running backs this year. Josh Jacobs has not scored a receiving touchdown in his entire career in the NFL. It's gonna break this year, Jason. Josh Jacobs dealing with a groin injury, which I hate right now. But the one thing it is going to do is keep his ADP low. Give me some Josh Jacobs.
What about AJ Dillon? Apparently, he's looked better than ever. I thought they would have got rid of him by now.
I've seen enough of AJ Dillon, dude.
So they got AJ Dillon, Marshawn Lloyd, and Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and Marshawn Lloyd is looking good, and he is the rookie there. But yeah, Josh Jacobs, man, where he's going, amazing. And then next up, Jason, the cheat motion. So do you remember this? This is what the Miami Dolphins blew everybody. I keep on want to say blow everybody's dicks off, man, but I don't know if that's offensive or not. Man, I'm telling you, man, they blew everybody's dicks off last year, Jason, with that motion. Do you remember that? They were going into motion all the time, and they were setting up Tyreek Hill to be going and running routes in like with a running start. Do you remember that?
I think so. I know they run a lot of motion. Yeah, like
Well,
most in the
them, the
NFL,
49ers,
right?
and the Rams. So Puka Nacua did this as well. A lot of this cheat motion, so it is outlawed. But I went over there. I did a lot of research into this. So if an eligible receiver is on the line of scrimmage, moves backwards, or changes his stance and does not come to a complete stop before the snap, it is a false start. So if he is a receiver, he cannot do this. Now get this. If any eligible backfield player, Jason, who changes his stance or does not have to come to a complete stop, whatever, dude. So if he's a backfield player, he can do what they did last year. So what you're going to see a lot more, Jason, is Tyreek Hill lining up as a full, whatever, dude. He's going to be in the backfield. All right. And that's how they're going to get away with this. But as far as everybody doing this, it's not going to happen so much. So they're going to have to choose who they want to put in the backfield, Jason, and that receiver can do the cheat motion.
They had Tyreek Hill in the tight end position last year too, where he squats down very low. He's like he's sitting in an invisible chair.
Yeah. There you go, dude. And is he in the backfield if he just takes a step back? I don't know, because those tight ends usually at least get a step back. So I'm not really sure how that works, but something to watch. So everybody's saying that this is dead. Do not believe that. The way that this rule is set up, you can still get away with it. All right, Jason. Geno Smith. I texted you yesterday. I was all, Geno Smith is fucked, man. He's done for the year. Well, he got an MRI, CAT scan, all that shit. He is okay. Geno Smith, man, he is one of my highest values as far as quarterbacks go, and we are banking on him carrying DK Metcalf, maybe JSN. We both like Kenneth Walker, Jason. Sam Howell would have been a fine backup, but Geno Smith being healthy is a good thing for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm really expecting the Seahawks as a team for fantasy purposes to make a big jump this year because they fell back last year. They fell off. I expect them to be one of the teams that have a lot of fantasy players, a lot of fantasy value this season with a new OC.
And their OC, dude, is from college. It's going to be some outlier shit. All right, this guy was air raid offense in college. That's the reason that we like them. Dave Canales was the guy that unlocked Geno Smith. Shane Waldron did not. All right, Jason, DeAndre Hopkins, man, out 4 to 6 weeks with a strain knee. People are not talking about Treylon Burks. It's all about Calvin Ridley in that team. Will Levis, man, I've been hearing all these stats about him in the last half of the season just being terrible. All we remember is DeAndre Hopkins having great games with him, but I do not want to be choosing one of 3 wide receivers for a Will Levis-led offense. I am not drafting any Titans, and this does not change any of that, Jason.
Could this be something to look forward to like the beginning of the year, right? If it's just Ridley out there and Hopkins isn't playing, does that bring more value to him?
It does, but Treylon Burks, Jason, I still like Treylon Burks, man.
Yeah, I think he's playing special teams now. He's still on the team. There was a thing where he was playing special teams. So
I thought he was being funny. I was like, yeah, maybe. So I am not taking that risk, Jason. But you were saying there is some value to be found, and there probably is. But I didn't like Will Levis coming out of the draft, and he surprised us all. And then he kind of showed him true self over the last half of that season.
Yeah,
no,
I think
thank you.
He had one true good game, right? And it was like the first game that he played.
Yeah, and that's and when you do that kind of shit, it sticks in people's minds. So
that one game in 1989 in Week 4, I remember like I was there.
I was 3 years old, man. If I could only go back, that food was so good, man. It was almost like I didn't have to chew. All right, Jason.
No bills.
No Bills. That's the fucking number one.
Yep.
When you said Bills, I'm so into football. I'm like, the Bills were around, Jason. That's like their expansion team. Come on. All right. Let's go. Jason. DeAndre Hopkins, I said that. Herbert. Justin Herbert. This is huge. All right. I'm all about Lad McConkey. I'm going to start pushing Lad McConkey. The source that came through with Puka Nacua last year that I did not listen to because I think he's annoying is coming through with Lad McConkey, and he is located in LA. Goes to the practices, Jason. So this source is pushing Lad McConkey, saying it is going to be a Puka Nacua type season for Lad McConkey. And I do think one wide receiver from that offense will be okay. And I've been pushing Lad McConkey. Well, it sucks, dude, because Justin Herbert now has plantar fasciitis, that the bone. It's like a bruise in the middle of your foot, okay? It lingers. It'll come back. Go away, come back, go away. This is terrible, Jason. This is one of the worst news I've seen in a long time in fantasy football. It's like plantar fasciitis. I mean, I have it written down right here, but still, whatever, dude. So the doctor told him he needs to wear a boot for 2 weeks, but everything I've read online, it is not good. Best case, I mean, maybe it's okay, dude. You can take advantage of it, but he's already going super late, Jason. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Herbert and McConkey right now.
Herbert's going to have to drop in his ADP because this is a injury that can bother him all year. So this is a thing that you need an off season to recover from. So yeah, his ADP should drop back, needs to drop back. Still high on Lad though. I like Lad. Still doing a little prediction that he will get 100 receptions this year.
Damn, 100 receptions.
In the slot? Oh, yeah.
Thinking like a 70% target rate. 70% catch rate, dude. 130 targets. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. All right, anyways.
They got like what, 200, 350 targets?
Well, yeah. No shit, but that's you're going from like an air raid-ish offense, kind of, not really, but still, to a running-only offense. That's the only problem there.
Only running. He's not throwing.
All right, man. Deontay Foreman. This was scary. I loved Deontay Foreman last year. He was one of my sweethearts. I started him, and he killed it for me. I think he got like 20 points, and then I can't remember what happened after that. But, man, he was I think he's on the Browns, Jason, and I was paying attention to him because I didn't think Nick Chubb was going to be coming back so fast. Nick Chubb is, but, man, he got fucked up. His neck did during kickoffs, immobilized, taken off to the hospital, and I just wanted to pay attention to it. He is okay, so he will be back and playing for the Browns. I did not think Jerome Ford would be that much of a factor on the red zone. I thought that'd be Deontay Foreman. And I thought Deontay Foreman could have 10 touchdowns in the first 8 games for the Browns before Nick Chubb came back to full health. But Nick Chubb's coming back full health. But, Jason, I just want to talk about this because, when somebody gets immobilized and taken off on the stretcher, it's just nice to have a follow-up.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. I think they even had to helicopter him out of practice, but
yeah, I think that was like Tony Stark shit, dude. That fool he had to get helicoptered out.
He's got
and then
new chest
news here, Jason. Marvin Harrison Jr., who I'm pushing hard, is going to be playing in the preseason. So that is kind of new. Not a lot of these top rookies ever do. So we got to pay attention to that. I just something real fast.
That's pretty interesting. I didn't think he was going to be in the preseason since he didn't want to go to the combine. I guess he's like, screw it. I already got paid. I'm on the team. Let's go out there and do something.
Yeah, I love his attitude once he gets on the team. So I'm pushing him hard. And then I have Drake May looking terrible, Jason, and very discouraging towards some of my sleepers. But that doesn't matter because Jacoby Brissett would start anyways, and Jacoby Brissett's going to be a serviceable starter. He will support one fantasy wide receiver, maybe make him a wide receiver too. But we need to figure out who that is. But all the reports, Jason, Drake May came out firing the last couple of days. He's actually been great. So they have 18 for 25, all this shit, whatever. So Drake May bouncing back. Remember, all these crazy ass reports coming out. I heard it on every single football radio show. Drake May was a bust already. And today it came out. He's doing well. So you'll see in one of my sleepers that I was kind of hoping Drake May might take the job and take this dynamic wide receiver to maybe a high-end wide receiver too. But it looks like Jacoby Brissett is going to win that job, remain the starter probably all year, barring injury. And this guy is going to just be a really good flex, but still a value. Stick around for that, Jason. But Drake May, you heard about that, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually, no, I didn't hear how well he was playing. I was listening to Coach speak today, and on Coach speak, they were saying he still's got a lot to go, and Brissett is obviously the number one quarterback right now.
And we hear Brissett, and we're like, man, that's not sexy at all, dude. I can't remember where he was last, but he was maybe the Colts.
Redskins.
Dude, and then the Redskins, it's like he actually is really good, man. And he's played for the Patriots before. And that offense for the Patriots was literally the worst of all time last year. So it's got to get better, man. So we'll talk about that in a minute. Ooh, I got a hair in my mouth. Dog hairs, dude. Tristan Wirfs, Jason, last thing. 5-year extension making him the highest paid offensive lineman in history. So this is nothing but good for Baker Mayfield and Rachaad White. And there is a sleeper that did not make this list, but he is on the sleeper candidates. Bucky Ingram, I think his name, from Oregon, right?
Irving.
So this is great for Bucky Irving. Pay attention to him.
Irving.
If you want to take him in your dynasty or best ball, I would highly, I would suggest that. Maybe wait and bid a lot on him in the week 1 waiver wire.
The guy who couldn't pass block.
Terrible combine, everything, dude, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, he had 55 receptions last year in college, and it led the way. You're going to hear me repeat that again a little bit later.
Really?
Yep.
All right, Jason, are you ready for some sleepers?
I'm ready for some sleepers.
Are you ready for some sleepers? Do we have any comments, Jason?
Nope.
Come on, guys. Come on, man. Subscribe, like. Hey, if you comment a lot, you'll be in our listener league. We got 6 players. All we need is 2 more.
I think I found somebody I found somebody, Tyler.
In the listener league?
Oh, wait. We do have somebody. Did someone say best ball?
Did somebody say best ball? Yeah, best ball, man. I don't have a lot of tips on best ball other than the same people that I like on here is on best ball. Go to stacks, dude. If you go
stack
to the people
and
that
explosive
have one,
players.
Yeah, you got to stack players. Even if they're shitty stacks, do stacks. All right, man. So I'll go first, right, Jason? Because I'm yeah. All right. Let me go with my number 5, who's probably my least. I'm gonna go for my strongest, or no, my least strong, my weakest to my strongest. My least strong.
My least strong. Take my strong hand.
Take my strong hand. All right, dude. So I was all about this guy, right? When he got chosen or when he got brought over from the international player or whatever the hell it was. I wrote his name down like 10 times. And then I completely forgot about him. And then last night I was like doing all my research for the show and everything. And what I'm doing is I'm going through every single team. I just see a picture of the team, 32 teams. I'm like, all right, who's the number 1 wide receiver? Who's the number 2 wide receiver? And if there's kind of a question mark, I'm targeting those players on sleepers. And it got to Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm like, dude, Isaiah Pacheco is good. But would it surprise me if somebody just came out of nowhere and took his job? It would not surprise me, all right? Because, I mean, I like Isaiah Pacheco, but I don't think he's a LaShawn McCoy or Brian Westbrook or some of these players that have dominated carries in the past for Andy Reid. And then Jason, I remember this. Rees-Zammit, LRZ, they call him. He's going as running back 57. You can get him, draft your kicker and your defense early. Pick up LRZ in the very last round, okay? So he's going as undrafted. He was named by the Chiefs beat writers as a top breakout player of the year. So they're looking at, Xavier Worthy and I forget who else. I think there's a tight end there as well. And they said, no, LZR, dude. LRZ. I want to say LZR because it's like fucking laser, but it's LRZ. Laser, dude.
Taser.
Blade. Laser. Blazer.
Michelle.
Michelle. Woo! All right, man. But yeah, that's Dodgeball. If you're too old for that or too young for that, go check it out. It was a good movie back in the day. Jason, this guy can play running back. He's getting, I think, second team running back carries. Wide receiver, plays that slot. I know Xavier Worthy is not playing that slot. All right. Neither is Rashee Rice. And kick returner. So kick returner is the big one here. I was watching the kick returns, Jason, from the Hall of Fame game. And they're like, oh, it's the same as last year. No, it's not, dude. No, it's not. Like, there is a very high potential for fucking kickoff returns with this. And, like the kick returner takes a bigger hit, but the blockers do not. So I think it saves them blocking. But LRZ, Jason, the rugby player, is what they brought this guy over for is kick returns. So running back, wide receiver, kick returner, you'll get those bonus touchdowns. Dude, if you can start, it's like Taysom Hill of running backs, okay? When you can start him in different positions, you can take advantage. It's almost like a cheat code. 23 years old, 6'2", 210 pounds. So if he gained like 5 more pounds, I would not be surprised if he was a workhorse running back, all right? 4.40, Jason. That would have been the 5th fastest among the running backs of the draft this year. So just imagine if the Chiefs drafted a running back and he had the 5th highest 40 time, we'd all be freaking out, all right? Well, guess what they did, all right? And his name is Rees-Zammit. He's 23 years old. So with that new kickoff rule and Andy Reid being the most creative play caller, it's funny that he did not take advantage of the whole that cheat motion thing that I was talking about earlier. But still, he's one of the most creative play callers of all time. Are you telling me that he cannot create some crazy lateral plays or whatever? So I'm looking at Luis Rees-Zammit as a true sleeper, Jason, not being drafted. Has potential to be a top 20 running back for reals because I like Pacheco, but again, dude, he was undrafted or 7th round. I can't remember. And that fucker cannot catch. He's a one-dimensional running back. Whereas this Luis Rees-Zammit, dude, has been playing rugby his whole life. So he can catch. I don't know, man. I'm super excited about this guy. And for where you get him, I think that he is worth the gamble. And you just drop him after week 2 or some shit like that if he's not working out.
Gosh, Zammit. You see what I did there?
I was almost using that too, Jason.
God damn it. Yeah, he's a great rugby player. I think when he was playing, they beat Australia, and it was like some crazy game, the championship game. They killed him. He played well. I can't look up any stats on him. There's no stats. There's no college play with him. Like, he looks like he's a good runner. And if Andy Reid got him, they got him for a reason. And I do think he could benefit out of the kickoffs, and that's huge. That's 6 points for your guy.
Hey, dude, Drafters Fantasy, are we following them, Jason?
I don't know. Did someone say best ball?
Hey, man. Hey, Drafters Fantasy, if you're subscribed to us, we will subscribe to you. Sunday, what was it? You pay for the whole seat, but you only use the edge. All right, Jason. Who's up next?
Okay. This is kind of like my little disappointment right now, but Jaleel McLaughlin.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, you'll see why. 49th running back off the board, around 166 overall. I was big on Jaleel after the NFL draft. He was kind of crazy last year as a rookie. He was 10th in yards per touch, 6th in juke rate, 6th in yards created per touch, and 6th in forced tackles miss per attempt. We have the mark of the beast in Denver, so I want a little bit of piece of that. That would be kind of crazy, right? And think about how he didn't really get involved in the offense until week 4. Before that, he had like 4 and 3 snaps a game. But you must remember he is an undrafted free agent, so he had to earn his snaps. And he did end up earning his snaps as the season went along, okay? So my favorite thing about McLaughlin, here, let me scroll down, about McLaughlin in the later rounds is Sean Payton was hyping him up this offseason and suggested that he's going to be the prime candidate to play the, quote, Joker, quote, in the offense. Players who have played their Joker role in the Sean Payton offense was Reggie Bush, USC, baby. Darren Sproles, may have heard of that guy. Oh, and Alvin Kamara. We all know him, okay? And the final stat that I'm loving is that Bo Nix, the quarterback, is known to pass to short to intermediate, and he loved to target his running back, Bucky Irving, at Oregon last season, who led all of college football with 55 receptions. That has McLaughlin written all over it. He was very P of the season. I heard the news that Javonte Williams has taken all the first team snaps and lost 11 pounds this offseason, so he's looking good and he trimmed up. Like, it's hard. That's kind of disappointing. I wish he gained 11 pounds. I got slower, but apparently he's taking this pretty seriously.
I wish he weighed 11 pounds.
Wish he weighed 11 pounds. He would be the football. He would be the pigskin that they play. I don't think McLaughlin will have an MVP season now unless something happens to Javonte Williams. But he has a great chance to outplay his ADP by a large margin, especially if they do cut Samaje Perine, which is still a possibility.
This is who did I wish weighed 11 pounds, Jason?
Javonte Williams.
Javonte Williams. I'm 11 pounds, 24 inches.
Sound like Mr. Talley.
Why don't you take my shoes and get a bronze? I remember my mom's like, you want to see your feet when you're young? It's like my bronze. I don't understand what bronze shoes are. Did some blacksmith dip that shit in bronze?
Yeah, that was the Nike back in the day. Bronze shoes. Everybody wanted them.
I don't think people do that shit anymore. I haven't heard about bronzing your baby's shoes in a long time.
People had to get their toes removed from all the blisters and bunions from wearing those.
Well, hey, I did own Jaleel McLaughlin last year. I pushed him hard, Jason. And my main reason was like, I was waiting for a wide receiver to take that Marquise Colson role and for a running back to take that Reggie Bush role, because I know when a Sean Payton offense, that running back can score a ton of points. Dude, Deuce McAllister, and it's like, where is this? I'm waiting for it. And Jaleel McLaughlin is a fan favorite, Jason. And yeah, I can't remember Reggie Bush's best year for him, but I want to say he was a top 10 running back one year. And I played him that year. I owned him that year. So in my mind, I'm just like, dude, Jaleel McLaughlin, Reggie Bush, Jaleel McLaughlin, Reggie Bush. So there is potential there. And Denver's one of those offenses, Jason, that we have to take advantage of because nobody knows. I'm all about Courtland Sutton. Yeah. But I also have somebody else on this list, Jason, is from that as well.
Nobody knows how this running back room is kind of crazy. If I had to choose a guy, I would go with Jaleel McLaughlin. Reggie Bush, I believe his second season had around 75 to 80 receptions. So, and if you got a quarterback who doesn't like to throw the ball deep, and you got a talented runner, pass catcher, and Jaleel McLaughlin, I would like to. In that round, what is round 166th overall? Is that like 14, 15?
That's the last round because once they hit 169, that pretty much means they're undrafted.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is
crazy because I see him going like the 14th, 13th round all the time. That's an ESPN.
So this is one of my favorite sleepers, but since we're talking about I was about to say Denver Nuggets, the Broncos right now, might as well talk about them. So I went to Oregon State. My rival was Oregon, man. We're like, Civil War. Oh my God, I hate them. But this guy's from Oregon. Same thing with Bo Nix, dude. They played together in the college. Jason, Troy Franklin got like 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns last season with Bo Nix. So the rapport is already there. Let's see. I already talked about him waiting for the next Marquise Colston, dude. Maybe this guy is a 6'3", 385 pounds. So I mean, Marquise Colston was 6'4" and weighed more, but still that larger body. So that is what we're looking for there. And then, let me pull it up. Troy Franklin, ADP is going as wide receiver 98. If you're as going as number wide receiver 98, you're going undrafted. So, like I said, man, like some of these other players I'm talking about, pick your defense, pick your kicker early, get who you want, and then pick Troy Franklin in the last round. He ranked top 10 among all wide receivers in catches, 14 receiving yards, 558, and touchdowns 7 on targets 20 plus yards downfield, and that was with Bo Nix. So we think about Bo Nix being that Drew Brees precision passer, small, whatever. Well, dude, Drew Brees threw to Troy Franklin deep. He was a leader in that category, so that was huge. Can you believe I can talk like this while I'm doing that? While you're doing all that stuff, my wife is trying to distract me, but guess what? I'm undistractable.
I'm undistractable.
Oh! So they traded up to the 4th round, Jason, just to get this guy. Marquise Colston was a 7th round pick, and he finished as wide receiver 16 in his rookie year, 2006. So we're looking at a potentially top 20, maybe even 24 wide receiver. If he's a wide receiver 2 for you, that's top 24 wide receiver, man. As his ceiling. And you are getting him as an undrafted. So when you do that kind of shit, you're wide receiver 2 and undrafted. That is like Puka Nacua almost light. That's like Puka Nacua light. So there is potential in this offense to find a league winner. And I'm picking Troy Franklin to be that guy. I love Marquise Colston. Not Marquise Colston.
But you love him too.
Cortland Sutton. I do think that Cortland Sutton fits that Colston mold more. But for the price, give me Troy Franklin. He is positioned to play that Z role of Jerry Jeudy, and Jerry Jeudy's already gone, so no problem there. And then let's see. Jerry Jeudy had 87 targets last year, and they were trying to not throw him the ball. So his floor is 87 targets, all right? Like, literally. I remember from, 4 games in, they were like, fuck Jerry Jeudy. We're never throwing him the ball again. And he still got 87 targets. And then let's see. Colston should be good. Cortland Sutton should be good. But Mims, I love Mims, Marvin Mims Jr. He was great for like a month. I owned him. And then he was super inconsistent / not even a factor, dude. So it does worry me that they drafted him so high, became not a factor. He's that deep threat. I'm looking for that possession wide receiver in this offense. Troy Franklin fits the bill, Jason. So PPR, Troy Franklin, wide receiver, as a flex, I love with the potential to be wide receiver two, and he's going undrafted. So dreams are made of Troy Franklin right now.
You're not worried about Tim Patrick showing up at halftime and
Tim Patrick, I've been hearing about Tim Patrick for how long, dude? And Sean Payton wants to get his guys in there. All right, it's like when he took over the Saints. He's going to draft people and put them in. He's going to trade for them and put them in. So he wants his guys in there. I love Tim Patrick. It's just he's been around for so long, man, and hasn't done shit. Give me hope. I need hope. There is no hope. That is what is that, Dr. Dementis on Mad Max?
There is no hope. There is no hope. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of passing going with the Broncos because they're going to be trailing most of the time. So there's a good chance we're going to see a lot of Franklin out on the field. And right now, he's the only one that has the best chemistry with Mr. Bo.
And he ain't no turtle, Jason, like that Franklin the Turtle that the kids like.
I don't know that guy or that turtle.
PBS, dude, with Arthur. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I was past Arthur. Yeah.
Hey, man, Arthur was the shit. Let's go.
Got funny memes, though, man.
I bet. All right, what's next?
I'm going to go with kind of like a basic one because I really believe in this guy, but I also see a lot of people picking this guy, and it's Dontayvion Wicks, okay? There is a lot of Packers to choose from, and I am high on 2 of them. got that Packer chronic. You know what I'm saying? So he's going as wide receiver 67. That's 170th overall. A lot of people have him as a sleeper, but it's hard to argue the fact, right? He's the last wide receiver Packer drafted, so he could have the best value. Being drafted as wide receiver 67, but having the 24th best yards per route run in the NFL can be great to draft. He's the best route runner on the team. Go check his YouTube, man. Go check it out, and you'll see what I mean. It's pretty crazy. He's pretty damn good, and he did that as a rookie. And there was all. Yeah, kind of crazy. So he was 10th in route win rate last year. He won 70% of his routes and man coverage, which is crazy good for a rookie, and it's an indicator of his route running skills. Okay. So the issue is, how often will he be on the field, right? That is the main thing. They got so many wide receivers, so much talent. How is he going to get on the field? Well, him and Reed averaged almost the same snaps per game last year, right? But Wicks was on the field in more 2 wide receiver sets than Reed was. And Jordan Love passed the ball a lot in 2 wide receiver sets. Now, Wicks is he's kind of like a dart throw, right? You're throwing a dart in the dark, and and hopefully you're hitting a bullseye. But I do believe he will eventually surpass Romeo Doubs in the depth chart. I do believe that. And he will get a pump in more snaps, right? And also, if there's any injuries at all to this injury-prone team, he would be extremely valuable and startable in your league.
I'm just thinking right now, Jason, it's like, we love Christian Watson. Romeo Doubs was like a lot of the ex-NFL players, like Chris Long's favorite fantasy football player. We love Dontayvion Wicks. Dude, Jaden Reed was like was my highest ranked Green Bay Packer wide receiver until I listened to the whole article about 2 wide receiver sets and Christian Watson. So what this tells me is this is just like, dude, it's almost like a CJ Stroud situation last year. But we actually know this quarterback's going to be good. We just don't know which wide receiver is going to be the best one. So it's like, do you think that every wide receiver is going to do what it did last year? Just kind of be like everybody's just going to be kind of a wide receiver 2 or 3? Or is one going to emerge here as a wide receiver 1, man? And then another one maybe as wide receiver 2? Because this dude, Jordan Love, is awesome. It's got they're going to be playing in domes all the time, and offensive head coach, a really good defense maybe. So there's going to be a ton of opportunity here for fantasy points as far as the wide receivers go, Jason. So this is just one of the teams you need to circle, even if you don't believe in Jason and Dontayvion Wicks. Take your risk on this roster, because somebody on this team is going to be a huge value. I think Jason and I are both pushing Christian Watson the most, and then Dontayvion Wicks next, I guess, because I'm not really ever since I heard the Jaden Reed shit, I'm not really about that. But still, it wouldn't surprise me if he broke out too, Jason. So there's just somebody here that's going to break out. Take your shot, and Jason's is Dontayvion Wicks.
Well, this is the thing, right? Christian Watson, he's the guy that I want. I do believe he can really push himself.
He's the wide receiver 1. He's the one that could be the wide receiver 1. Dontayvion Wicks could be the wide receiver 2.
I mean, and the thing is, it's like, I like Jaden Reed too. And the reason why I like Jaden Reed is because he could score rushing touchdowns, right? So that's his value. He's the wide receiver that could get rushing touchdowns, right? I think the wide receiver that is possibly going to have a drop-off, even though I heard he's doing pretty good in camp, is Romeo Doubs. So if I had to, I would say Wicks is probably going to be number 3, but I see a potential, because of Reed could also get rushing touchdowns, that all 3 of them could be a top 25, top 30 wide receiver at the end of the year.
Olaf is in the house, Jason. Olaf is in the house. What's up, dude? TGIF.
Olaf.
You just took me back to being so happy the weekends were coming with my parents, watching all of the TGIF line up on whatever channel that was. All right.
And just some quick little news here is some from camp. There was something that Love marched down the field to the 11th yard line with just 13 seconds left. Then he fired a touchdown pass to Devontae Wicks. And then the other thing is people are, he's always open. He's always open. The Dontayvion Wicks show is back. And he had a beautiful over-the-shoulder grab from Love and a 2-minute drill to defense for 15 yards. So there's some good news coming out of camp. Great news coming out of camp of Wicks.
That is good, Jason. That's the kind of shit we need to know, man. Because I have not been paying attention to Green Bay practices as of yet. So yeah, Dontayvion Wicks in the red zone is what you want because he's going to throw like 35 touchdowns. You think, and if he can get in on 10% of those, man, ooh, no, not 10% of those. I mean, 33% of those. It's like 10 touchdowns. So
best route runner on the team. That's very important to know, especially in the red zone.
All right, Jason. Next up, I just wrote his name down. He was on my waiver wire show, dude, for like 8 weeks, maybe more last season. DeMario Douglas. I do have Polk written in here as kind of like a secondary, but he is the rookie on this team with the defensive head coach and probably a Jacoby Brissett who's going to be working low, not deep. ADP for DeMario Douglas, Jason, one of my higher ranked players. Wide receiver 63, so he's going on the 15th round, which means that you could still pick up your defense and your kicker and then pick up DeMario Douglas. So Jacoby Brissett looks like he will be the starter, like I said. And to me, that actually benefits DeMario Douglas. If Drake May came out like Josh Allen or Justin Herbert and lit the world on fire, I do think that would be better for DeMario Douglas. But the odds of that are so low, I think that Jacoby Brissett is actually the better, slot receiver for Jacoby Brissett. Sounds good to me. In weeks 7 through 12, Douglas was a wide receiver wide receiver 3 or better for the 5 of those weeks. So in the worst year for an offense of all time, almost, man, literally in the middle of the year, they're in the worst part of it. DeMario Douglas came in after Kendrick Bourne got injured with an ACL tear and did well, man. He was a flex option for you. PPR, he was a low-end wide receiver 2 a couple weeks. So he was a surprisingly good fantasy player for you for about a month. And then I think he started dealing with injuries, and the shit just hit the fan for that offense, Jason. Nobody wanted to play for the Patriots anymore. The defense just took a dump. They're like, we're going to get Bill Belichick fired. But still, DeMario Douglas, he looks like the more dynamic player. I know I talked about Kendrick Bourne being there. Kendrick Bourne was just like kind of like that veteran that would just sit down and zone in the right place and get those PPR points. Whereas DeMario Douglas would do the same thing, but like, man, turn it upfield and look a lot more dynamic doing it. So I like that DeMario Douglas, and then Kendrick Bourne is number 1 on the depth chart. But I just said I think he injured his ACL week 9 last season. So I really do like DeMario Douglas over Kendrick Bourne. This is one of those, you go through the teams. It's like the Texans last year. Who's going to be the number 1 wide receiver on this team? We do not know. All right. We don't know. So there will be value on this team. Just roll the dice on one of these wide receivers. And to me, it's DeMario Douglas last round. He averaged almost 8 targets per game. That was the same as Jamar Chase when he was doing well. But like I said, depth of target, a little bit different there. Drafted Polk in the 2nd round. And let's see, DeMario Douglas, he led the team in target share at 21%. 21% is probably his ceiling this year, but 21% will get you to a wide receiver 3, no problem. If the quarterback's at all serviceable, Jason, maybe even low-end wide receiver 2. So he's going as undrafted, and wide receivers are so important in fantasy football these days. I think that is a huge value.
I think he's going to be Mr. Reliable on the team. I think he was doing pretty good last year. I know you said that he had injuries, so he missed some time, and he plays in the slot most of the time. More than 50% of his routes were in the slot, so that's important for a full or half-point PPR. And I think he's like really the only guy returning from last year. Wait, do they still got Juju Smith on the team?
Yeah, they do.
Dude, what happened to him, bro?
Remember that Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl with Juju Smith-Schuster.
And then he wanted to test free agency, and he's like, I'm going to make me some money because that's about as good as it's going to get for him. But, yeah, so DeMario Douglas, he's not even being drafted. I think that's what you said. And, like, he's going to be the most reliable, person, especially I think if Mays does end up playing at some time in the year, I think the slot receiver is going to help him out too. So he doesn't travel far. You said, Tyler, his average depth, I think he was, 84th in the league at like 8.2.
But you watch him, man. He's a true slot receiver. He is super quick and twitchy.
Yeah.
Great hands. Like I thought he was actually like their most talented wide receiver last year. And now they drafted Polk with a new regime. So we'll have to see how he turns out.
Yeah, his average depth of target, he was 83rd, or what I say, 84th, but his yards after catch, top 25.
That's a good stat, Jason. You're doing my work for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's go over the next player.
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going as running back 50, 166 overall. He is going 15 spots after Ezekiel Elliott, and I get it. I get why. Since Elliott is great at the goal line where the Cowboys struggled last year, he's going to be the goal line guy. They needed him. But on coach speak, Mike McCarthy confirmed that he is fully committed to a running back by committee with a reliable rating of 90% for depth chart speak. And if you check the training camp news and articles from the Cowboys beat writers, Rico is said to be the best runner in camp. And, yeah, dude, he is the best runner on the Cowboys. No doubt. He was 23rd in yards per touch and 18th in juke rate. So while he is top 24 in these, sticky stats you want to hear, Elliott was near the 50th for yards per touch and juke rate of last year. That's not good. So then Dowd was also 9th in yards created per touch. So Rico is the better runner, but he isn't the goal line back, which puts Ezekiel Elliott the main running back you want to grab in this draft. Like, I get it. I understand. But McCarthy also made comments. He made statements about making sure Ezekiel Elliott is rested and healthy at the end of the year. So I expect Dowd's rushing attempts to double in 2024. I think he only had about like 85, 89 last year. I expect that to double. I don't think Ezekiel Elliott is going to get 250 carries like he used to back in the day. This guy is 29 years old. He's got some wear and tear on his legs. So the Cowboys were also first in points per game last year, Tyler, and second in plays per game, right? That's huge. So they're they're doing a lot of plays and they're scoring a lot of points. Dow is going to have a lot of opportunities to score an elite offense as a more explosive runner. I won't be surprised if he gets 8 touchdowns this year. I'm seeing more of like the Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard role here from a couple years ago.
I would be surprised if he got 8 rushing touchdowns. I think that he'll get 2 rushing touchdowns, 6 receiving touchdowns, if anything. Yeah. Ezekiel Elliott is amazing in the goal line. You just talked about all that other shit. I think that Dowdle will do his damage between the 20s, and then here comes Ezekiel Elliott, like you said. So I'm trying to get Ezekiel Elliott in every single draft that I get. He is like the biggest value. Him and Christian Kirk are the biggest values I have in this draft. And I expect him to be a low-end running back too, but you get him like as a running back 4. So it's amazing. And then Dowdle has potential to be an amazing flex for you. So where you're getting him in drafts, Jason, where'd you say?
He's 166th.
Yeah.
Running back 50.
Much, to be able to get a real, maybe a flex option and running back, undrafted almost, dude, you got to roll that dice every single time, because there's a world where he takes that Tony Pollard. Hell yeah, I'm buying on Dowdle. Yeah, dude, Olaf, man, Dowdle. It's like we've seen this movie before. Even if it's a budget film, man, I'm still gonna watch this movie, and it's still a good deal. All right, so he might not be Tony Pollard, but by God, man, he will be not another teen movie, not another superhero movie, whatever. I'll still watch that.
I'll still watch that at the Dollar Theater on 50-cent Tuesdays.
Dollar Theater, man. Hell yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. All right, man.
Yeah, he's actually a guy that I'm going to try to target this year, dude. I can really see. You cannot tell me Ezekiel Elliott's the better runner. They got rid of him for a reason. Dow's younger. He's more explosive. I believe he did it last year. He could score outside the 10. So this could be a good pick for a late rounder, a sleeper. Don't sleep on him.
No. All right, man. Kimani Vidal. He got drafted by the Chargers, 6th round pick. Remember Pete Carroll when he came into the league? Remember all these other god dang college coaches when they come in the league? They hit, dude. They hit for a couple of years because they saw all these players, man. This guy saw Kimani Vidal. He's like, I want him as my running back. Going as running back 73, undrafted. Again, pick your defense, your kicker, then draft Kimani Vidal in the last round. Second most rushing yards in college last year. This guy was the second most productive running back in college last year. 47 rushes of 10 yards or more. 10 yards or more is an explosive run. So he had the most explosive runs. Explicit runs? He had the most explicit runs in college. You're like, oh, fuck. All right. 94 missed tackles, Jason. Second most in college. So we're talking about sticky stats. Forcing missed tackles, Jason, is huge. And now you get to go to a Jim Harbaugh team who he just drafted. He had Rashawn Slater, and he just drafted Joe Alt. For God's sakes, dude. They're going to be running the hell out of the ball with an amazing offensive line. Oh, God. The last season in San Francisco. The last normal season in San Francisco, Jim Harbaugh's team ran the ball 52% of the time. And he just brought in Greg Roman, dude, who runs the hell out of the ball. They will run the ball 50% of the time. They will be in the top 3 running the ball this season. All right. Gus Edwards played in every game last season. That's pretty amazing. If you told me that Gus Edwards played in every single game in 2 years in a row, I'd tell you to shut the fuck up. So Gus Edwards is probably going to get injured this year. J.K. Dobbins only has a 50,000 dead cap hit if released in 2020. And his last good season. Oh, yeah. And only released if he's released. And 2020 was his last good season. So 2020 was that season when he finished amazing. And you're like, holy shit, J.K. Dobbins is a league winner. That was 4 years ago, Jason. That's 4 years ago. All right. So I'm going with Kimani Vidal. He's got the 4th easiest strength of schedule for running backs. They're going to run the hell out of the ball. J.K. Dobbins has burned me like 2 seasons, Jason, in a row. I've owned Gus Edwards in the past. These guys' top end is maybe a running back 2. You get Vidal in there and he gets the job, he will be a top 5 running back, for God's sakes, all right? And he's going undrafted. So Vidal, huge sleeper for me this year.
Yeah, he almost had 300 rushing attempts last year, 1,600 yards rushing, 15 touchdowns. Tyler, where are we at? His 40-yard dash is 4.46, 87th percentile, and his speed score is 107.7, 88th percentile. I don't think he's going to be slower than Mr. Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins, dude. There's a good chance that he's going to see a lot of work coming up. Tyler, do you know what college he went to?
Sorry, I'm reading the comment. What college did who went to?
Your guy. Who else were we talking about?
Oh, Troy.
Yes, he got it. All right, good job, dude. You can draft him. You can draft him now.
All right. Well, hey, I want to talk about Nate Zapeta. Hey, what's up, dude? Just earned a new subscriber. Thank you so much, Zapeta. I feel like I've talked to you before. Who knows though? It's a two keeper league, Jason, and I've got Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. I've also got the first overall pick, which is dope. I'm thinking about drafting Taylor over Tyreek, the number 1, because I need a good back thoughts. If you have Saquon Barkley, we both love Jonathan Taylor. I would take Saquon Barkley over him if you need a running back. At the same time, I would take Tyreek Hill over both of those if I could. Jason, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. What do you think? Sorry, I'm also responding back to another question. So was he keeping Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase?
No, yeah. So yeah. Exactly. He's keeping Jamar Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Of course he would, because wide receivers are winning championships right now. But he's saying, what should he do with the number 1 overall pick? but it's not like everybody's available because there are keepers. So it's like if Saquon Barkley is available, would you take him over Jonathan Taylor, or do you have Jonathan Taylor over Saquon Barkley?
Dude, I keep hearing it more and more, man. Like in the first 2 rounds, you need to draft somebody who is reliable, who will be getting you points, who won't be a bust.
Damn.
Right, Tyler?
Ooh. Yeah. Well, he said
Saquon Barkley.
He said so he wants a running back. Jawar Jordan, the Texans running back to grab last. Always take a Houston 6th round. Dude, I was actually looking at Jawan Jordan, Uncle Ted. Thank you for bringing that up on the sleeper list. I was going through all the dynasty, Draft Shark dynasty rankings, and he was up there. So I was considering him on this list. But Jason, Tyreek, Puka, I would rather have Jonathan Taylor over Gibbs. Would you?
No, I'd rather have Gibbs.
Damn. Okay, if it's full PPR, I can understand that. If it's not full PPR, definitely Taylor.
If we're doing, man, you keep telling me about this tush push. You made up this tush push article in your head.
Shane Steichen, Jason. Shane Steichen lives in my brain. All right, Shane Steichen. I'm like, wherever he goes, I'm going too. All right, so that's my problem there.
Right. No, I get it. I still think Jonathan Taylor could be great, but right now I got tush push in the back of my head. I've been looking for articles, been trying to hear at camp if they're going to run the tush push in Indianapolis. If they don't, I will take Jonathan Taylor over Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the only back there, dude. They got no other back. They got Trey Sermon. Remember that guy?
Yeah. Well, hey, I do want to say Uncle Ted's talking about Jonathan Brooks over Taylor, which I do not believe.
You do not remember him. What happened?
Shut up. I do want to talk about Uncle Ted talking about Jonathan Brooks over Jonathan Taylor. Do not do that. But Jonathan Brooks, I was talking shit about. I am back on the Jonathan Brooks train. Give me some Dave Canales, man, with Jonathan Brooks. If you believe in your drafting capabilities, draft Jonathan Brooks because he might carry you that second half of the year. And then let's see. Hey, dude, Chef TP, Chef TP, TB. What's up, everyone? Hope you're all having a beautiful night. We're having a beautiful night, man. Hope you're having a beautiful night. All right.
It's hot.
It's hot.
I have the AC going right on my balls right now.
Yeah, I bet you do, dude. If they do tush push AR-15, 15 rushing touchdowns, that's the deal there, dude. That's why we need to figure out if they're going to do a tush push or not.
Olaf knows what I'm talking about, man. Right, he's a smart guy. He's a smart dude.
I got to stop talking. Jason, who's next?
Dan, I mean, there's a lot of questions here.
I know.
Dude, this guy's actually looking Uncle Ted. I like Uncle Ted. Uncle Ted.
Donnie Mitchell's must draft. Yeah. I like him. I mean, for the potential there, Shane Steichen, like I said, dude, if Shane Steichen drafts a fucking wide receiver in the first 2 rounds, I might be looking at that wide receiver.
Yeah, Nate, you got to go Tyreek over Taylor. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Tyreek over Taylor? Oh, yeah.
I know, dude. We live in the 2021 season where Taylor had that amazing year, dude. I had him that year, so I think about it much like we know the potential. We know the potential
over Taylor just because that he's going to be a top 3 wide receiver if he stays healthy. Jonathan Taylor could be a top 8 running back if he stays healthy. You never want. I mean, there's a running quarterback there, and that is amazing. At the same time, it's not great. So you got to look at that. All right, Jason, who's next? I got to pee so bad.
Yeah, go pee. Demarcus Robinson.
Oh, hey, there have been reports on him looking good as locked in as wide receiver 3 behind Puka and Cup.
Tyler, are you doing this or is it me?
I'm sorry, Jason. You're my best friend.
Yeah. It's like, these are in my notes. What we got here? Man, I'm just like, I want to be in this chat, dude. I feel like I'm in 8th grade in a chat room. Okay, so Demarcus Robinson, dude. This guy's going undrafted, and this blows my mind. Like, what am I missing about this guy? I started this dude in my flex during the playoff run last year. Weeks 13 through 17, he was wide receiver 12. He scored a touchdown in 4 straight games and had 6 receptions on 10 targets for 92 yards in the 5th game. And apparently, he has continued his solid play. He has been the star in training camp and proven his case to stay as a wide receiver 3 over Tutu Atwell, just like what Tyler just said. So he was 6th in fantasy points per target last season. That's important. And he must be a good route runner, right? Because he was 5th in route win rate. So when he's going out there, he's running, he's getting targeted, and he's open. He's winning his routes. All these wide receivers for this damn Rams team, they're all great route runners, man. It's crazy. Okay, but I know what you're thinking, though. He's a 3rd wide receiver, Tyler. How often is he going to be on the field, Jason? How often is this guy going to be on the field? Well, the Rams run a 3 wide receiver set 94% of the time. So he's going to be on the field, dude. Don't worry. You don't worry about that, sir. He will be on that field. I'm not sure what happened in the beginning of the season last year. If he was like, why he didn't get enough snaps, if he was like injured, if he was trying to figure out the offense, or, like I said, hurt. But by week 12, he had 40 snaps. And then week 15, he had 71 snaps. I remember, he's getting these snaps while Cooper Kupp is playing, while Puka Nacua is playing, because the Rams run a 3 wide receiver set 94% of the time. And he killed it last year. He helped me out. Thanks, brother. This dude is going undrafted, and he could be in your starting lineup most of the weeks next year.
So my only problem with DeMarcus Robinson is I am actually way higher on Cooper Kupp than most people. I need to reflect that in my rankings. I think I'm a little bit higher, but I need to move him up a little bit higher than that. Like I said, dude, Puka was wide receiver 12. Once Cooper Kupp came back, I think that was the targets. Wide receiver maybe 8 or 9 in fantasy points. So, yeah, it's going to be top heavy on that Cooper Kupp and Puka. But DeMarcus Robinson, man, and he came from the Chiefs, right? He was not dominating, but he was like their wide receiver 3 for the Chiefs for a while, right?
Yeah, but I think he was a Raven the year before.
Okay, but he's a very good wide receiver. He reminds me of Jawan Johnson for the 49ers. It's like, why are you not picking this guy up, man? He's going to be on the waiver wire list every single week. So, yeah, I mean, there is the risk of that Puka, because Cooper Kupp is 31 years old, I'm pretty sure. So there is that risk that he is going downhill, and if he is, the person that's going to benefit the most, Jason, is going to be DeMarcus Robinson. So
man, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Cooper's a buy. Uncle Ted, dude. I'm buying Cooper Kupp right now. But like I said, he is old. He's injured. When you think about how many good years he's had, it's not been like it's. I get it, dude. I get it. So DeMarcus Robinson's next up over there. Worth a gamble late, like you said.
This is the thing. He was on the field with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, and he still finished as wide receiver 12. And the reason why is because for some reason Puka Nacua does not get targeted in the red zone. Cooper Kupp does. Cooper Kupp's the main guy in that red zone. Absolutely. He kills it. And that's why he should be like a definitely a buy this season. And you know who was second in those red zone targets, my friend?
Yeah.
DeMarcus Robinson.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua only had 6 touchdowns last year, dude. He got the receptions. He didn't get the touchdowns.
Yeah, he would get those 20-plus yard receptions all day, but yeah. Jason, I do want to say Uncle Ted stealing my words from me because I want to be, because he's all talking about Debo and Metcalf, talking about Leggett. I was like, dude, I texted you this, Jason, yesterday because I was doing research on which sleepers I should do. I was like, dude, Thielen should be on this list. People forgot about him. Is he dead? Is Thielen dead? Because why is nobody talking about Adam Thielen?
Like, yeah, he's dead.
I get it, but at the same time, Deontay Johnson's not going to be. They run different routes ish. I see Deontay Johnson's supposed to be that on the outside right now, lining up, and Adam Thielen being that slot receiver for an Adam Canales or not. I mean, not Adam Canales, Dave Canales, maybe improved offense. Yeah, Thielen is a steal late. Good job, Uncle Ted. All right, man, you ready for the last one?
We'll see. Yeah.
All right, this is my best one, right? I'm gonna save my best for last, I think. Oh yeah, because I'm actually targeting this guy like every single draft. Freiermuth. So I mean, I don't know if you can even fucking Freiermuth, whatever, dude. The Muth is Luth. That was fantasy footballers a couple years ago when I listened to them. All right, man. Pat Freiermuth. He like when he was coming out, he kind of reminded me of Gronkowski, but not, Gronkowski light. ADP tight end 15. He's going in the 13th round, so you need to draft him, and then you draft your defense and kicker. So whatever, man. The last skill position you draft can be this guy right here. Tight end 30 last year. He did miss 5 games due to injury. Tight end 29 in points per game. So not much better if you factored in that. All right. This offense was so bad. Kenny Pickett was bottom of the league in every stat, dude. Every single stat. And then tight end 7 finish in 2022 with Kenny Pickett. 10 points per game. We talk about this all the time, Jason. If our tight end gets 10 points, that is a win. That is a huge victory for us. This guy was averaging that just 2 years ago. Kyle Pitts, tight end 13. Jonnu Smith, tight end 17, with Arthur Smith last year. If you combine their points, Jason, they would have been tight end 1 by like 50 points.
Yeah.
So Arthur Smith is the coach, offensive coordinator with the Steelers right now. All right. The target percentage over the last 3 years for Arthur Smith to tight ends, 34% target share to tight ends, 27% target share to tight ends, 27.5% target share to tight ends. So we're looking at a minimum of 27% target share to tight ends for the Steelers right now. All right. Minimum. And we got Darnell Washington over there. He does not have his boy Jonnu Smith. It's going to be all Pat Freiermuth. All right. I do like Darnell Washington, but he's like the best blocking tight end since Mercedes Lewis, dude. So he's a very good blocking tight end. They need that shit. Let me see what I'm doing here. Let me see. And then I want to look at the average depth of target for Arthur Smith. All right. So the tight ends get the most targets. They also get 11 to 14 yards, Jason. Average depth per target, 11 to 14. The Steelers, like 5 and 7. They actually did get they got 1 year when Pat Freiermuth was tight end number 8, where they were 10 yards per depth per target. There is potential for Pat Freiermuth to get the most targets he's ever had at a 50% deeper target rate as far as yards go. So Pat Freiermuth finishing tight end 8 in his best year might be a top 3 tight end this year under Arthur Smith, dude. So Deontay Johnson is gone. That is 6.7 targets per game available. And I get that you do not people are talking all about pumping up George Pickens. Dude, I don't want any wide receiver playing for Arthur Smith. No, thank you. Give me the tight ends playing for Arthur Smith and the running backs, maybe. All right. Because I know he's going to run the ball. He's going to throw to tight ends. So right now, Pat Freiermuth going as tight end, what, dude? Not even a tight end 1. Going as the top of the tight end 2s. And he has a potential to be a top 5 tight end, Jason. I am waiting till the very end to get a quarterback, Caleb Williams and Trevor Lawrence maybe. And I am waiting. I'm either getting Mark Andrews or Pat Freiermuth. How do you feel about that?
Pat Freiermuth is going to be on championship teams this upcoming year. I mean, he's a good tight end. He had a season, I think his best season, what you were saying, Charlie, he had like 7 touchdowns. The season after that, he had 98 receptions or 98 targets. So he gets targeted a lot. He's going to get targeted even more. They got no one to throw to. They got no wide receivers to throw to. They got George Pickens. Roman Wilson, Tyler, he's breaking his own ankles. He ain't playing. He's missing all of training camp. He rolled his own ankle.
Shit.
He's going to – what's going on?
All right. So, Jason, I was looking for sleeper tight ends, right? And I was going through, like, which tight ends have a chance to start. Dalton Schultz is here. But this is interesting, all right? So this is our new – I think he subscribed, right? Uncle Ted.
Uncle Ted.
This is very interesting. Cade Stover, he's this athletic tight end freak. He actually played with C.J. Stroud at Ohio State, and then they drafted him. So if Dalton Schultz – because you and I both like Dalton Schultz, man. You're a Cowboys fan. You know how good Dalton Schultz is. And it takes like usually it takes like 3 years for a tight end to do well in the NFL. But Cade Stover, Jason, is a name that we need to pay attention to.
Oh yeah, I'm reading what he's putting right now. Holy crap!
Well, I just looked him up and I was like, oh yeah, he did play. Because I was literally going through Draft Sharks top 20 tight ends on dynasties, trying to figure out what rookie tight end might be the next Laporta. And then here we go, dude. We got this guy literally commenting all this shit. Uncle Ted. Thank you, Uncle Ted. Thank
Uncle
you,
Ted,
Olaf.
Uncle Ted.
Hey, Olaf, I'm glad you agree with me, man.
Yep. Yeah, he's all Debo and Metcalf had a baby. Xavier Leggett.
Hey, man, if they had a baby, that would be a baby of science, Jason. They'd be like, how did this happen? We need 2 men in a room together might change sex.
Yeah, it's crazy how because of Diggs, now that Schultz is gone, he's fallen off.
I like Schultz.
People are not
dude.
talking about him.
Yeah, well, we were talking, when I listened to Tight End University and Kittle and all those guys coming in, Greg Olson, they all talk about Dalton Schultz. So you think about him being a better tight end, but if you can get some rapport with Dalton, and you know that CJ Stroud is in, he's got his influence on every single draft pick from now on. So just to think that they picked this guy makes me think that maybe at the end of this year or at least next year, Jason, we'll be looking at this guy.
Yeah. This was a good chat today.
Stroud loves his boys, dude. Seriously, man. Stroud does love his boys, man.
The Zoners, they really stepped it up today. Had a fun chat. That was a fun chat from the Zoners. Give it up to them.
Oh, we went long, Jason. We went long, but hey, dude, when the Zoners are chatting, we got to be whatever I'm trying to say. I wanted to rhyme, but I can't think of anything.
We give the people what they want, Tyler.
Hey,
we give them what they want.
That is the show, though. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up, man. Hopefully we earned a subscription. If you're watching right now, thumbs up helps us a lot. Sometimes I get my wife to give a thumbs up late at night, and all of a sudden, dude, we surge. So that helps more than you think. Subscribing, man. We need to make that 1,000 subscribers. We're on the way. We will celebrate that shit. It's been a long time coming, man. So help us with that. Jason, send us out.
Hey, are we doing money for the listener league, or is it free? What are we doing?
No, I'm going to send a trophy, dude. I'm going to send a trophy, and hopefully they send it back. If they're a true fan, they'll send it back.
So
but
it's
if not,
free?
That's okay.
What? Okay.
And I'll pay for them to send it back. You know what I'm saying?
I got some people who subscribe that want to play, but okay, this is going to be a little tough. But we got to start doing that, man. We got to start thinking of the date.
I was actually going to create a league tomorrow on ESPN, and then
are you going to be the
in there? What'd you say?
Are you going to be the commissioner?
Yeah, I'm going to be the commissioner.
With all his power comes great responsibility.
Viva las zoners, stoners, zoners, suitors. The zoner. Great stream, hey. Thanks, Uncle Ted, man. All right, guys.
So what? You got a video coming out. I don't know what it is. Are you doing another stack video?
I was thinking about doing the Hype Train Bus video on Monday, but probably not.
Hype Train Bus video on Monday.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm going to do something on Monday, I think.
Okay, there's something Monday. Make sure to catch it out. I'll talk to you next Friday. I don't know what's going to be, but
don't worry about it.
It might be the players with the biggest upside. I think that's
good. And we still have our crazy ass predictions coming up, so that'll be good too. Hey, this is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.
I'll talk to you in that video. Deuces.